All right. Good morning. Good morning. Let me get this out. All right. Perfect. Let me do this. Let me make sure that I can see what you guys are saying. All right. That should be good. Should be all set. All right. Let me get this stuff sorted. I had to start a few minutes later than I would typically like to. Jesus Shuttlesworth. Good morning. Love the name. Antonio, good morning. All right. We're going to kind of fast track our pre-market stuff just because I got on a little later than I was anticipating. So we're going to just kind of run through this real quick. Don't think anything on SPY. I would like... Qs is actually maybe a little interesting off this. What do we look like? Probably have to break some sort of high up there. Qs could be interesting today. I actually like that. Morning, John. How are you, dude? John, did you already put out your watch list? No. Oh, yeah, it is a Fed day. You're probably smart, man. I'll probably still end up taking something. Dude, who is calling my phone at 9 a.m. 3 times? Stop calling me. What's your plan for today? Honestly, to not lose money, because a lot of people probably will. So if I can be one of the people that don't do that, that'd be fantastic. IWM, just look like on lower time frame. It'd be pretty cool. Be curious to watch that. I was in QQQ yesterday, unfortunately. Yeah, that does suck. Market looked good at open, and then felt like every minute that passed, it looked worse. John, did you see that SoFi stuff that came out? They like had great earnings, and then they like basically liquidated like 1.5 billion worth of shares or something. It just took the price all the way back down. That was disappointing. Yeah. Yeah, a little disappointing. I was up like $3,000 on SoFi yesterday. It was like, what a great day. And then by the end of the day, I was up like $1,000. It was really unfortunate, but it's long term. It's long term. Doesn't need to happen instantly. At least that's what I tell myself. I'll be surprised to see more of that. Yeah. Don't we get to know if they finally cut rates today? Should be interesting. Amazon. Do I like anything here? I don't think so. I mean, you could look TLM. What do we look like on lower time frame? I guess if we pop out to the downside, you could look for that. Again, I don't really want to take a lot of trades today, if any, but look, companies raising capital support AI investment. Yeah. But hey, man, if AI keeps, I'm fine with AI, dude. If it keeps flying, those AMD and NVIDIA investments keep looking real good every day. So it's on Fed rate decision. Yeah. Microsoft looks at potential playoff demand. I will take a peek. PLTR, I feel like could have been good for TLM, but I don't like having supply there. That makes that a lot more difficult. Even if we, no, surely I can't short PLTR. I can't do that. It might go down, but I can't bring myself to. Don't think anything on Apple. Apple's been like the hardest stock in the world to trade recently. NVIDIA. We do have a 2 hour here. Will that give us anything though? Let's say we have 45 minutes supply. What can we look for? So break of highs, retrace and go higher. I guess could be a thing. Not a huge fan of that, but with how bullish it is, that'd be a bad idea. Hood looks very bearish. Didn't quite hit that supply. I guess on the 45 hit the wick, but rejection's pretty major. Love demand here. Might as well include that wick. See what happens. Don't think, yeah, we won't have any really good movement to the downside there. Yeah, Microsoft. These ones are always a little interesting because I could see why you would draw your demand there. But for me, I kind of consider this with the gap up kind of one big move. Because if we didn't gap up, I'd probably draw a demand here, right? So that's where I would typically do it. But I could see why you would draw it there. I don't know on a lower time frame. Yeah, I guess you'd be looking for a break of that high, which would make sense. So you could. It just would feel weird to me to draw that like this. Like, I understand why you would, but I mean, if you get a break above this high, look for a retrace off that, because we don't really have anything in this area. So I guess a break there. Keep an eye on it. It's probably not something I'll take, but definitely keep an eye. News at 2 p.m. I think that's when the big moves are. Sorry, I got to blow my nose. I'm going crazy over here. Hold on. Forgot I was muted. My bad. Yep. My apologies. My apologies. Yeah. Like watching a silent movie. You would think I would recognize, considering like there's a big colorful light here when it's actually on, but just oblivious apparently. You guys didn't miss anything important. Also, all I was saying is that I really don't feel like having a ton of setups today because there's so much happening. So, in my opinion, the less setups, the better. But a lot of things actually look pretty good. Yeah, one thing as well, I know someone's talking about news at 2 p.m. That's when the big moves will be. That is the only thing with that is a lot of times on FOMC days, we notice that price tends to be a little more choppy in the morning. So it makes it a little harder to trade. It's the only thing with that. TSM is bouncing off demand or off supply, sorry. I guess it did already. Now it's pushing back up. No good demand down here, in my opinion. Probably skip out on TSM today. Oracle bounced off demand. But again, nothing Obviously, Oracle's bullish, but don't really have anything here I love. MU super choppy yesterday. Definitely bouncing off demand. What is MU? MU is really bearish though, especially in the recent weeks. We did reject this supply pretty hard. Yeah, I'll probably stay away from that. Man, SoFi at 20, back at 21 basically. Unfortunate, dude. And Hims always staying strong. All the Hims doubters. Because I know you're out there. Keep that in mind. It's probably just for future reference. Probably won't matter a ton today. I just deleted that demand, but we'll open right there. Not a ton of room to go up. I was looking for a shop short yesterday. Didn't get the retrace. Just a little unfortunate. Probably nothing there. Roblox kind of went through demand. Not a huge fan of that. Uber's down once again. Little bounce from demand there. But again, pretty bearish recently. Outside of that good news it got. NBA, nothing much. Yeah, I'll watch these. See what happens. Let me get this out. Jose, good morning, man. How are you? We can do that. All right. Man, and everyone came out of hiding when my mic wasn't on. I should accidentally mute up more. All right. A little less than a minute until market opens. So we got home sales at 10. Some oil and gas stuff at 10:30. And then of course the Fed at 2. All right. I don't think there's anything I'll be looking for right at open. No. I don't know why. I don't really need Goog there because Goog's a little ways away from that. Hood would need to come down. Microsoft instantly down. I don't like this. I've been seeing this a lot recently where we gap up, we kind of break structure, but we're pushing down on this first candle. We don't get that candle close above. A lot of times this has just been pushing down and then seeing a reaction. So I really want to see that close above before I look for anything on those. Amazon's kind of just floating around TLM. Q's coming down. Like IWM, if this can get a good close, they can get a good close above and then a retrace. That looks pretty good. Visa went right down through demand. Not a huge fan of that. Looks like we're getting a reaction, but wouldn't love that. AMD. Oh, at demand. Yeah, you could look for that. We obviously would need a break to the upside. I wish we opened a little bit lower. That break would be a little better. It's going to be hard to get risk reward with it being so close. That's the only thing. But definitely a possibility. We'll keep that up here. So that you wait. You don't want to get involved in puts and calls. Well, I mean, I wait for the setup, but yeah, for most things right now, most things are pretty bearish, most things are pretty bullish. So I don't really want to get into shorts when a lot of stuff is going up. That wouldn't make sense. NVIDIA could give us a good opportunity if we retrace. I'll have to see if that does. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. Every time we've opened recently, we gap up, we break structure. It just pushes lower. AVGO with a really solid move. I like that a lot. AMD gets above that high. I'd really like to see it close above this and then that retrace. So let's see if we get that. Amazon came down to that demand, but that demand's already been hit so much. I probably don't care a ton about it. Qs didn't really break any high. Good retrace, but no break of a high there. Okay, so NVIDIA taps supply. So we won't really have anything on NVIDIA. Wouldn't want to get in after we tap supply. I wish Hood came down and hit demand before it did what's doing. That'd been a lot better. IWM, we still have a good amount of room before we come up to that. So retrace there could be good. I'm not going to look at NVIDIA anymore. I think NVIDIA will probably go up, but because we tap supply, I won't. Where you located? I'm in Cali. I'm the other side of the nation. I'm in New York. So as far away as possible. And yes, AMD does not retrace, as I figured. And with that gap down, we create supply. With supply in the way, not really going to have anything. And we can't really break that supply till we get above here. It's just, this is going to be a very risky trade if you were to get in that. So I will pass on that one. Q's pushing up. Again, IWM still looks good on a retrace, so we'll keep that in mind. Microsoft at this point, and the one positive is it did hit that demand down here. The one negative is that now our break structure is all the way up there. That's not really a great area. AVGO on a retrace as well could be good. Still like IWM the most. Just don't know if that's going to retrace for us. I mean, gap up with Qs. Realistically, you could look for something like this. Like for a retrace off that. That could be something as well. AVGO, not a great close above. Just double checking. I mean, Gook does have a little bit of supply or demand there. It's not the best thing though. See, I mean, we could look for something like that. Maybe up to that high. Could be decent. Jason S. Good morning, man. How are you? How are you doing? Don't know if this will retrace. Looking unlikely. Hood with a really good push up. But again, just not off anything. Can't do much about that. So we probably won't find anything on Hood today. Watch list is being dwindled down fairly quickly. Good morning. How are you? Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Looking at Don't know about that. It's gonna end up being about the same anyways. All right, we'll see. I'll see if that retraces. Now AVGO is pushing. See what this does. IWM might come down. It'd be solid as well. Let's look at this. Q's looking like it's going to go up more. Little unfortunate if you don't get the retrace there. Goog looks like it's just going to fly. Very surprised there's nothing there. Just double check on this. Okay, no. That is all good. I'm not Jordan, unfortunately. All right. Yeah, AVGO for retrace. like that. There's a possibility we just don't get any retraces. Should be a little unfortunate. What time do you wake up for the market? Like what time do I actually get on? Or like what time do I just wake up in general? I guess I'll answer both. I usually try to be up by like 8 EST. But I'm usually not on my computer looking at the market till like 9. So that's really just because I can kind of map everything out a lot quicker than I used to. I used to hop on like an hour before the market opened. It's like at 8:30 and start looking at stuff, but because I can map everything out a lot quicker now, I don't need the extra time. So how far down on AVGO do you have to move? It's a decent amount. And Goog is not stopping. Wow. What a move yesterday, too. Looks like he'll just continue it into today. That's a strong candle on IWM. But yeah, I would say like if you're just starting out trading, realistically, you probably want to be like at your computer looking at the market like an hour before, just so that you're not rushing and you can kind of map everything out clearly. Also depends on how many things you're looking at, right? Like if you're only looking at like 10 stocks every day, you don't really need an hour. But if your watch list is a little bigger and you're kind of newer to it, I'd take a little more time. But ultimately, it's personal preference, kind of how long it takes you to get in like that trading mindset. Some people it takes a little longer. And Q's is going to go without the retrace. That sucks. That does suck. See if that would have hit the target. Microsoft still pushing up. Very good reaction off demand. Just with that high, I wish we opened like down here and then fell into demand, because then our high to break would have been a lot sooner. It doesn't look like we'll get that. AVGO looks like it's going to keep going. Goog is probably going to be nothing. Just going to keep flying. Qs, there's not really anything else on Qs I would look for. That was really it. So take that off. I guess there's maybe a little bit of a longer term trade here with the break of this high, but I don't want to be in anything that's going to take that long just because we have the Fed meeting later. So if I'm going to be in trades, I'd prefer they happen a little faster. Like this move on IWM isn't that crazy. Tesla. If you're putting things in chat like you want me to look at, you got to tell me why, like what you're looking at in specific. The supply and demand. Like what are you looking for? I assume you're looking at this 1 hour. Kind of a weird one, though. Same thing with Microsoft. You basically have to wait till this high breaks and look for a retrace off that. It's going to be the same exact kind of trade. AVGO dropping pretty quickly. Target highs. 1.3. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. IWM. Not looking like a likely retrace. I did that backwards. God, the risk is kind of in the middle of what I need. That's not fun. What's SPY doing? Yeah, PLTR moving up as expected. Nothing really there. Hood never hit that demand. Apple moving down further. Which again, kind of to be expected. Wonder, just not a great supply zone there. I don't even know if we'll get the retrace. AMD continuing its push. Tesla's falling down. Good rip on HIMS. Now IWM's coming down. Jeez, these things are all over the place. See if that pushes. Microsoft will probably take too long, and then it's just gonna be too far in the day for me to want to look at longs on that. Maybe, yeah, it's a really good close too. I'll suck if that doesn't pull back. But like I said earlier, I'm perfectly okay if this ends up being a no trade day. All right. We can enter at 229 ADGO. 299. That looks like it's going to push up. Qs came down. Yeah, just no real. I don't like that break. All we did was wick above the high. We need a break above this high, so I don't really like that. You could take it. It's probably right at that 50, but yeah, just about. But I don't like that break. I mean, the market relatively looks strong right now, so you have that working in your favor. But I would have liked to see a better break there. And unfortunately, the things we got the good break on are not coming down to where we'd want them to be. Which does suck a little bit, but we'll see. We do have, was it home sales? Yeah, home sales at 10. Probably see a little bit of a fluctuation for a few minutes based on that news. So see what that does. IWM, man. Not retracing the way we'd like. But we will see where it goes. Sorry, it's not working meeting. I didn't get it in it, Trevor, just because it didn't retrace before it went up and hit where my target would have been. So I didn't get it. By the way, John, if you're still in here, I'll watch that video you sent today. I just didn't. I wasn't really on Slack last night, so I didn't get a chance to look at it. No worries, Trevor. That was weird. I said no worries to Trevor. John said no worries to me. Look at that. Yeah, IWM probably will keep pushing, which sucks. See some trade outcomes from that later today. Okay. Sounds good to me, man. Qs and SPY came down. Goose coming down. Nvidia keeps pushing because it's just the most bullish thing on the market. Hood kept pushing. AMD's got a little ways to go. Yeah, if both of these break above that previous high, wouldn't really look to enter. Price when I consolidate side channel, does percentage change go up or down when inside a range all week? Like the weekly percentage change, it's going to change with like every movement of that stock. But yeah, it's based on the week's performance for most percentage changes. So if it's still up from the last week's close, then percentage change will be up. If it's not, then it'll be down. But most of the time when we consolidate like that, kind of within a range, it's either there's, people are kind of happy with the price or they're awaiting news and stuff. You'll see that a lot during like earnings weeks, things like that. A lot of times when things have earnings, they'll kind of consolidate. People are a little scared to hop into it because the earnings can change a lot, obviously. So yeah, so IWM breaks above that prior high for the day, so I wouldn't really be interested in it now. AVGO still could come down. I'd still be good with that. SPY held that low, which is a good sign. Same with Qs. Good sign just for the market in general, not necessarily to actually trade those. I don't really know if I would consider that demand. It's kind of the problem on Goog right now. Plus your high to break would be high of day. That would take a little bit. See what AVGO does. See if this comes down. Trying to see if the percentage of the price goes up inside that time or down. Trying to see if the percentage of price goes up inside that time or down. I mean, it depends where that channel and consolidation is. So the percentage price is gonna fluctuate no matter what, like with every move. But it's gonna depend on what you're looking at. Like if you're looking on the percentage change for that day, then it's gonna keep going up and down. If you're looking at percentage change for the week, and we're above last week's close, then it's gonna stay up. But it all depends what you're looking at. And percentage change is not something that necessarily people are really looking at for any sort of trade confirmation. The percentage change on TradingView, like you see it on mine, is just going to be for the day. So that's because it's only focused on, essentially a day's. It's basically focused on the prior day's close. That's going to fluctuate with every single little movement. So whether it's in a channel or not, it's going to fluctuate all day. It's an interesting move on SPY. Didn't really notice it, but we have supply there. Made a high, made a low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Break that low. Hit that retrace. It's an interesting move. Obviously, if the market wasn't bullish, that would be a pretty solid short opportunity. But the market's so bullish, I'm just very hesitant to take shorts. I know we have days like yesterday where a lot of stuff drops, but still very hesitant on those. What do we see for news? Forecast was 0.3. Actual was minus 0.8. Wow. That is very far from their forecast. Jeez. Yeah, I don't know if AVGO is going to retrace for us. It's looking pretty unlikely. But that's what news days will bring you sometimes. That's fine. Yeah, spy shorts I think actually would have been pretty good. The only problem is you didn't really have a lot of room to run down. Would have had to really take profit, I guess, here at the lowest. Yeah, I don't want to fight that bullishness. I think we might just call it no trade day, honestly. And like I said, if AVGO retraces before it breaks that daily high, I would still be interested in it, but that's really it. And I just don't think it's going to retrace just from what it's doing. I feel like we would have got that retrace earlier. So yeah, I think we'll just call it a no trade day and be good with it. I don't see a reason to wait around on a Fed day, try to find a trade to take. So yeah, we'll see. I know it was I'll set an alert on AVGO, and if it hits it, depending on what time it is, I might get in it, but it's probably unlikely. But yeah, a little bit of a shorter one, but that's what you get with Fed days. So I apologize for that, but we're gonna have them every time there's a Fed meeting. So yeah, I think we'll call it. I would recommend for a lot of you guys. I used to not trade on Fed days. I wouldn't even wake up. So if there's a day you shouldn't be trading, it's a day like today. So if you haven't taken a trade, you don't plan on taking one, be happy with it. Move on to tomorrow. Even corn futures didn't move the way I was hoping right now. Yeah, that's what Fed days will do. So listen, big news days like this is not worth the risk. I'm sure you'll see people on, Twitter or whatever later with their 1,000% gainers on 0DT contracts during the Fed meeting. I wish you guys to not have FOMO over that, over the fact that they more than likely have something on the other side that lost a lot of money. And, it's basically straight gambling at that point. So I urge you guys to take the day off the market. Yeah, AVGO's flying. Urge you guys to take the day off of the market, enjoy your day, let the Fed meeting do what it does, and come back tomorrow and be ready. So hopefully you guys enjoy your Wednesday. And yeah, I will talk to you guys later. So enjoy your day, guys. Appreciate you.